Porn doesn't just kill your libido, it kills your ambition as well. If you don't know me, my name is Krishna, and I help young men quit their porn addictions. When I was addicted to porn, I didn't fully realize how much energy I was losing, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually, because I stopped wanting more out of life. I remember every single time, and you can probably relate to this as well, after every single relapse, every single time that you watch porn, how do you feel? You might get a little spike of dopamine. You might get a little spike of pleasure. What do you feel afterwards? How do you feel afterwards? Well, you don't feel good. You actually feel kind of lethargic. You feel kind of tired. This was definitely true for me. I remember, especially on those days that I used to fap twice, 3 times, I'd just be completely dead. I remember feeling dead, feeling lethargic after just the first one. Imagine how I felt after the second time and the third time as well. Because porn tricks your brain into thinking that you've already won. Right? Because think about this from an evolutionary psychology perspective. Or actually not even evolutionary psychology, just an evolution perspective. What is the primary goal of the male? It's to pass down his genes, right? And when we feel lustful, when we feel horny, that is the inherent drive for men to pass down their genes, to continue their bloodline, right? Because otherwise, the bloodline dies with you. If you don't spread your seed, it's going to die with you, right? We know this. From just an evolution caveman perspective, that is one of the biggest goals of life. Actually, it was probably the only goal of life back then. It wasn't making money, it wasn't building muscle, it wasn't doing all of these other things that we want to do. What was it? Well, it was passing down our genes to the next generation. When you ejaculate, when you watch porn, your brain thinks, okay, he's already filled his inherent psychological desire. He's already fulfilled his life's purpose, basically. And in a sense, you've won. But you didn't really win. You didn't win anything. And another very important point here is that it gives you reward without any risk. It's an unearned pleasure. It's an unearned reward. When you go to the gym and you feel the burn in your bicep, or you do a hard set of squats, it's quite painful. But afterwards, how do you feel? After the workout, how do you feel? Well, you feel amazing. You might feel happier, you might feel more energized. And that happiness, that pleasure is more long-lasting. Porn doesn't do that. Porn just gives you immediate pleasure. It gives you an immediate spike, right? You feel the big rise in the pleasure of how you feel, right? You feel so nice. And then it just drops straight down afterwards because you feel guilty, you feel shameful, and you feel tired. I think that ambition dies when you stopped earning your pleasure, when you stopped earning your dopamine, because dopamine, in another sense, in another phrase, another word, is just motivation, right? Because think about it. If we were cavemen out in the wild and we saw a deer, we saw some kind of animal that we wanted to hunt and kill so that we could feed ourselves and we could feed our family as well. When we saw that deer, we would feel pleasurable. We would feel dopamine, right? We would feel good. Why? Because that's a driving force that's supposed to propel us to go hunt down that deer. Every time we see, every time we saw water, for example, or we saw colorful fruits in the wild, we would get a sense of dopamine. right? Because that is the driving force that is supposed to fulfill a need. When you're filled up on your dopamine, when you sit there and you're content, right? You've got a full belly, your balls are empty. Are you really gonna want to get up and pursue your dreams, pursue your goals, and become the person that you want to be? No. You're gonna sit there, right? You're gonna sit back in your chair and just gonna be like, kind of tired. Maybe I'll go to bed, right? There's no fire, there's no ambition, there's no drive anymore. Because the drive was there, it was there. But then through watching porn, through ejaculating, all this stuff, the drive goes away. Every single time you get an urge, it's just motivation. It's just another form of motivation. It's just another form of drive to go and achieve a certain thing. Right now, the goal of that is obviously to ejaculate and all that stuff. To pass down your genes onto the next generation. Right? If you think about it, it makes sense why the urges are so strong. Because if we weren't able to pass down our genes, then there would be no more humans on this planet and we would go extinct. Problem is that every time we get an urge, what do? I know what I did every single time I got an urge. I went into my bathroom, pulled up my phone, loaded up Pornhub.com, and started masturbating, right? That's what I did. And so your action step for this video, something tangible that you can do, is that every single time that you feel an urge, instead of thinking, oh, I feel this urge, I need to resist it, or, oh, I feel this urge, I need to go watch porn, why don't you think about it instead as an opportunity for you to go do something, right? Think about it as an opportunity for you to pursue your dreams, to work on that thing that you know you're supposed to be working on but aren't doing, whatever it is. Maybe it's going to the gym, maybe it's doing that piece of homework, whatever. Cleaning up your room, whatever it is, right? Using your urges as fuel for something is way more practical, and it makes way more sense than sitting there and trying to fight the urge, right? Because if you try and fight the urge is just going to get stronger. It's just going to amplify it, right? Because we can't think about the negative of something. For example, if I tell you, don't think about a pink elephant, your mind probably thought of that pink elephant, right? Don't think about a car. Don't think about a lamp. As soon as I say it, you're going to think about it. And so if we sit there and we're, no, like this is bad, this urge is bad, go away, all this stuff, and we should resist. I get that. But the urge isn't bad in and of itself. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's what you do with it that makes it good or bad. Inherently, it's just like a neutral thing. It's just energy, right? Now, you can either steer that energy into a negative direction. You can watch porn. You can jerk off, right? That's what I did. Or you can steer that energy into a more positive direction as well. I remember actually when I fully quit porn, this was around 3 years ago, when I fully quit, the urges didn't go away, right? The urges themselves aren't exactly the problem. It's what you do with that energy. And so once I started putting that energy into sports, into fitness, into school, my progress skyrocketed. I was able to put on, I used to weigh 100 pounds, right? Barely 100 pounds. At my height, I'm kind of short, like 5'5", right? Once I finally quit my porn addiction, I had all of this energy and all of this drive. I just put it into the gym and I was able to finally actually put on size. And I put on 40 pounds, 30, 40 pounds. I went from almost 100 pounds. I was probably actually a little bit less than 100 pounds. I went from less than 100 pounds to 135 pounds, 140 pounds. And so every single time you get an urge, think about it as an opportunity, because you don't want that energy to go to waste. You can use that energy. you can use that as fuel for the things that you don't want to do, for the things that you should be doing, but you aren't doing, for your goals. If this video helped you, I have a program. You can click the link in the description down below if you want to go check it out. It's a full 5-phase program, 5-step program for you to actually quit your porn addiction, all laid out for you, all the resources, all the tutorials, everything like that. Because I've walked down this path that you're walking, and I know where you're coming from. I know the struggles that you face. I know every single day you want to quit. You tell yourself, this is the day I'm going to do it. This is the day I'm going to quit porn. I'm going to finally change my life. I'm going to finally do this. And then you relapse. The next day you say the exact same thing, and then you relapse again. You keep getting stuck on relapsing every 3 days or every 4 days, and you're just wondering, why can't I quit this? I know I want to quit this, but why can't I quit? That's what I break down in detail. And if you want to check that out, you can click the link in the description down below. Take care, brother.